Okay, it appears we had a data issue there. So we're gonna have to split this video in two. I guess I forgot to delete the data on there of the videos, the previous videos. Apparently I have very limited space on this phone. And these are sweating down a little bit, but they're getting there. I'll have to just pause this one. Alright, let's start making the gravy. I don't know if I made gravy before, but basically gravy, you gotta have some kind of fat. We do have butter in there, but I put a little more just in case. It's just basically you get the fat and the flour. Fat and flour. And you cook it down. And you try to just put it in like before the sauce comes in, then it'll clump up in the liquid. This is a way to do it here. Cook it a little bit with that butter. It'll combine with the butter. And then you add the liquid, which could be like a broth. You could add water, you could add broth, you could add milk, and then you make gravy. And that's basically gravy. A lot of sauces too thick, but the flour is going to be very, like, some people use like cornstarch because then it won't be as like, it makes it more shinier, has a shininess to it, depending on the sauce you're trying to do. But like a gravy, yeah, flour and butter. And if you get flour and butter, like 2 tablespoons each, and you get it nice and cooked, and then you add about a couple cups of milk, and then you get that to a simmer, stir it, and then you slowly add in about 2 cups of shredded cheese, and that'll be a cheese sauce. So it's good to know how to make a sauce or how to thicken something up. To understand this thing, or what a roux is, or stuff like that. There's different ways to do it. Some people, they get the flour and the butter and they mix it together, and then they make and then they add that because it's already mixed in. And as it melts, as the butter melts, it slowly comes off. Because if you just put a bunch of flour at once into the soup, it might clump up, and then you have this big flour bit. So different ways to do it. Or sometimes if you have the soup already made, you can get some of the hot soup and then mix the flour with it, in a separate container, and slowly stir it, and then when it's fully, then you mix that into the. There's different ways, like many ways to skin a cat, but there's a wrong way too. So this flour looks like it's kind of got cooked already, evenly spread out with the butter and everything. Oh, I got some here. That's all making the spoon here. The big clumps there. And that's what you don't really want. That's a big, but at least it has butter in it, so I think it'll be okay. As it simmers, it'll slowly break apart. And then I'm going to do milk, like I said. Here it comes. Okay. Let's give it a stir. Once that milk heats up, and that butter's gonna melt, and as that butter melts, it slowly is gonna release some of that flour that it's combined to, and it'll thicken it up, and that'll combine with the milk, and then it'll thicken up. And also, as you release evaporation, you'll thicken it up as well that way. It's a double whammy. And at this point, well, let's get it to a simmer. Get it to a simmer, then we'll add the liver in. It'll just take like a minute or two, but I'm going to pause it real quick. Alright, it's barely starting to bubble up a little bit. I see a couple bubbles here and there. It's good enough for me. I'm going to get this liver in now, and the juices. Out here, you know what? I'm drinking this Shiner Bock. Let's put a little Shiner Bock in there too. Just a little bit. With the brown beers, they get the malt. Well, the malt, that's a roasted the roasted barley is what they call it. But it's a roasted barley, so get some of that nice flavor, that char flavor. It's a nice little secret you could do sometimes. And then we're gonna let this simmer, like I said. Let it simmer. Once I get it back up, I guess the meat cooled down a lot, so it'll take a while to let it simmer. And if you had simmer on low, and if you got a cap, that's good too. Kind of keeps it from drying out. But I don't have a cap for this pan, so I'm just gonna have to keep a close eye on it. Stir it a lot, and add water to it. All you gotta do is add water to it. I mean, you could add milk or whatever, or beer, but basically all that's evaporating is the water, so you could just add water to replace what evaporates if you feel it's getting too thick. I mean, this is actually a little watery. It'll get thicker, but as it's cooking, because I want to let it simmer for like 30 minutes, I might need to add water because you don't want it to get all hard or too thick, and then or also the bottom to burn. So this is going to simmer now for like 20-30 minutes. And I still got those potatoes in the oven. They probably need another 20 minutes. I actually just flipped them right now. And they were kind of lightly brown, golden brown on one side. So they could definitely use another 20 minutes. So if I let this simmer for 20 minutes and then let the potatoes cook, then it should be done around the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this and then finish off that beer I'm drinking. Oh yeah, I forgot. I probably need to salt a little bit more for the gravy, because I salted the meat, I salted the onions and mushrooms, but the actual gravy is not salted, so it's probably going to need a little bit more. Pretty sure about that. Let me go and get a little bit of this here. Taste it. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. My other salt. Here's this one. Let's use this one here. Just from taste, I'm figuring that should be good. And that's the pepper. Nice pepper gravy. You know what? I'm gonna go for a little bit of cayenne here, just a tiny amount. Give it a little extra kick, like a subtle kick. It's not, people that don't like chili, they'll be like, if you're okay with pepper, you won't even notice that because it's such a small amount for all that. But it's gonna give it a nice little extra that enhances the flavor without being a turn off for people that can't handle spice. And just make them eat a little faster. Something like that. Trust me, I know what I'm doing. Oh yeah, you could even, now that you see like all the little pepper flakes evenly spaced out in the gravy, you see little dots, and you know it's well seasoned. Let's give it another taste here. There you go. Okay. And I guess that's it. I mean, this right there, smothered liver and onions. I mean, this is ready to eat, but like I said, I'm gonna simmer mine for a little bit longer to soften up that liver just a little bit extra, and keep an eye on it. And but this is it for the video. And then if you wanna, I'll put a comment on the end of this video. This is video 2 for liver of the final product. My comments on it, my critique, honest critique. All right, guys, take it easy.